Alrighty, guys, one of the questions that's been up in the air, wonder no more. It's official. It's coming from Marvel themselves. Daredevil is returning, not just for season 2, which hasn't come out yet. We haven't even seen a trailer for season 2, and we don't even know when it's going to release, but I think a lot of indications seem to point to the fact that it'll probably be releasing around the same time that season 1 did this year. This year, isn't that crazy? Daredevil Born Again, season 1 came out this year, and season 2 is coming out next year, and we're excited about it. I'm excited about it because even though I didn't particularly love Daredevil Born Again season 1, because I just think it was messy, you can kind of tell where the chops and edits were made when they were reshooting a lot of the season and rewriting it, I still thought it had promise, and I think season 2 is going to have even more promise, and now, confirmation, we are getting a Daredevil Born Again season 3. And this wasn't a confirmed thing, because if you guys remember, we've done segments about Charlie Cox saying, well, yeah, this is the final season. And then Vincent D'Onofrio was like, no, that was just him misspeaking. It's not the final season. He might have been indicating last season, as in saying, this previous season, right? In this last season, right? That's a way that people can speak, and it got misconstrued. And now Brad Winterbaum, who is the head of Marvel's television division, Marvel's TV division, television division, that is a mouthful, has officially confirmed it. He said this: in terms of Daredevil, yeah, we are greenlit for season 3, and we start shooting next year. And one of the things that we talked about a while ago is that Marvel is changing their approach to how they do television, right? Before, they were going to do these big event-style television shows, one-offs, miniseries with the big MCU stars, Elizabeth Olsen, Anthony Mackie, Tom Hiddleston. They were going to do all those big shows and sort of make it be the same as a movie, just cut up into 6 or 8 episodes, right? I mean, WandaVision was more of a television series, and I think that that's one of the reasons, honestly, it succeeded. Whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki, season 1 especially, they were more like cut-up movies in a sense. But now Marvel is taking a different approach and being like, okay, well, people are getting frustrated because they feel like they have to watch all these different shows and they don't understand what's going on. Why is Wanda doing this? Why is Wanda doing that? So we're going to scale back a little bit, and we're going to go back to the model of multiple seasons for shows. The only show that did that previously was Loki, season 2. And I would argue that it's really Loki season 1, part 2, not season 2. I've talked about this ad nauseum. And they're deciding to do that and try to release shows yearly, because it seems crazy in this day and age. If you guys have grown up only with streaming, you guys are like, oh no, we're used to the 2 or 3 years or 4 years between seasons. Before that, with sitcoms especially, they would crank out seasons every single year. There was a new season of The Office, of Friends, of Seinfeld, of The West Wing, every single year, pretty much. Every maybe year and a half, there was a new season. And so I think going back to this model, it's a great thing. I'm really excited. And the other unspoken thing about all of this is that they have a lot of confidence in season 2. There is no, let's kind of wait and see, did we fix the mistakes that we made in season 1? And are we feeling good about season 2 in that regard? And then we'll go into season 3. None of that. Because, season 2, I'm not going to say it was part 2 of season 1, just like Loki was, but, in a sense, when they originally greenlit Daredevil Born Again, it was 18 episodes, and it was going to be a much different show, granted. So I'm not saying that they just cut up one season into 2 necessarily. I think that they did rework a lot of things, and they're going into season 2 a very different approach. Obviously, Jessica Jones is coming back, so we'll see her again. But I think that season 2 was almost a given at that point, right? We'll kind of see how seasons 1 and 2 go and then evaluate from there. But season 3, I don't think ever was a given. And the fact that Marvel is like, yeah, let's do it. Let's shoot it next year. And we're going to get it probably 2027. Just a new season of Daredevil every single year. That is awesome. That's so awesome. I think that even the original series almost did something similar where it was like Daredevil season 1. I think a year or two later, Daredevil season 2. And then he showed up in Defenders. A couple years later, he showed up in season 3. So, and that's sort of the model that they did with characters like Iron Man, right? Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2 a couple years later, Iron Man 3 years later, but he shows up in the Avengers, he shows up in Age of Ultron, Infinity War. So it's exciting, it's really exciting. Whether or not he shows up with Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think is a different question. I feel like once Punisher was announced, people were kind of like, well, wait, what's going on here? Where's the connection? Is there any connection? Because we kind of thought Marvel was going to completely silo the TV and movie divisions and storylines, even for the most part, but it seems like they are willing to cross them over to a certain extent, and we will see how that plays out. I'm very curious to see, are there any ramifications from the Punisher special television presentation? Are there any ramifications from Daredevil Born Again season 2, which will presumably come out before Spider-Man Brand New Day? Is there anything going on from those TV episodes and TV presentations that will affect the movies? I'd be very curious to know, because I think it's going to be very telling to see how all of that goes and sort of manifests itself into Marvel's current strategy for movies and television crossover. So guys, Daredevil Born Again Season 3 officially confirmed by Brad Winterbaum. So it's from Marvel. It is greenlit. It is going. We are shooting next year. Very, very, very exciting. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments down below.